Steady growth is one thing, but explosive growth? Now that's a story worth digging into. Today, we are cracking open the financial report of a Japanese firm, Green Energy and Company, to figure out how they pulled off some seriously incredible results. Let's jump right in. So this is the number that just grabs your attention right away, an 88% jump in operating profit. That's year over year. We're talking about the profit from their main day-to-day business. And look, that isn't just growth, that's a massive leap forward. In today's economy, a number like that, well, it begs for an explanation.
So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? Was this just a lucky break, a brilliant strategic move, or were they just in the right place at the right time, riding a huge wave of change? Well, let's break it all down.
Okay, first things first, let's just look at the top line numbers, because this isn't just about one good metric. The whole report tells a story of success across the board. Now, what's so fascinating here is how the growth actually accelerates as you move down the table. I mean, sales shot up by an impressive 48%. That's great. But look at the profitability. Operating profit skyrocketed by 88%, and net profit was right there with it. So what does that tell us? It means the company isn't just selling more stuff, it's getting way more efficient. As they get bigger, they're probably getting better deals on supplies, streamlining how they work, and basically turning more of every dollar of sales into pure profit. To really get what's happening with this company, we have to zoom out and look at the big picture. I mean, a performance like this doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? It's happening right in the middle of a massive national shift going on in Japan. The Japanese government is basically putting the pedal to the metal on a green transition. Policies like the Green Growth Strategy and the Sixth Basic Energy Plan, these aren't just suggestions, they are national roadmaps. They're being backed by new frameworks like the Basic Policy for GX Realization, GX stands for Green Transformation, and a big push towards carbon pricing. That makes emitting carbon more expensive and, you guessed it, makes renewables a whole lot more attractive. For any company in the green energy space, this is like having a powerful wind at your back. And right here, you can see just how ambitious they're being. The government is targeting 36 to 38% of all electricity from renewables by 2030. That is a huge piece of the energy pie, and it basically sends a giant signal to companies that says, hey, invest here. This market is real and it's here to stay. But it's not just about policy. It's also about cold, hard economics. See, Japan has to import most of its fossil fuels, and with the yen being so weak lately, the cost of those imports has just gone through the roof. This quote from the company's report really hits the nail on the head. Businesses in Japan are now looking at homegrown solar power not just as a nice green thing to do, but as a critical way to manage their costs and become more self-reliant. It's a powerful financial reason on top of a political one. Okay, so you've got this perfect storm of government support and real economic need. The question is, how did Green Energy and Company actually capture that opportunity? Let's take a look at their game plan. Their strategy is this really smart three-part approach. First, they're doing the core work, installing solar systems for everyone, from big corporations to regular homeowners. Second, and this is key, they're tackling one of the biggest problems with renewables, storage. By developing these big grid-scale batteries, they're making solar power useful and reliable even when the sun isn't shining. And third, they're not just waiting to grow. They're actively buying up other companies to absorb their technology and market share. And remember that third point, acquisitions? Well, here you go. They brought 2 new companies into the family during this period. One is a real estate company, which makes total sense because you need a lot of land for big solar projects. The other is a brand new venture. This just shows how aggressive they are about expanding their toolkit through these strategic buys. All right, so let's connect all of this back to those numbers we started with. How did this strategy, this big picture environment, translate directly into that mind-blowing 88% profit growth? First off, the demand is just undeniable. Look at that jump in sales, from 4.8 up to nearly 7.2 billion yen. It's crystal clear that their solar and battery solutions are exactly what the market is desperate for right now, energy that's affordable and self-sufficient. But this is the real kicker. The profit grew even faster than the sales. That jump from 161 to 304 million yen shows that their business model is incredibly efficient. That's the sign of a truly healthy, scalable business, one that just gets more and more profitable as it gets bigger. So how did they pay for all this expansion? This slide kind of simplifies their balance sheet. You can see they took on about 2.2 billion yen in new debt from things like loans and bonds.
But they didn't just let that cash sit around. They immediately put it to work, increasing their assets, things like cash on hand and new equipment, by 2.3 billion. So, in simple terms, they're borrowing money to buy the tools they need to grow even faster. It's classic investment for growth. So, after an absolutely phenomenal 6 months, what's next? Well, the company has been pretty darn clear about what it expects. They're basically saying this wasn't a fluke. The management is so bullish on their performance that they've officially raised their financial forecast for the entire year. That is a massive signal of confidence. And here's the new number they're shooting for. They are now forecasting 15.4 billion yen in sales for the full year. Think about that. That means they expect the next 6 months to be even better than the record-breaking period we just looked at. So, when you step back, the story of this one company is really just a snapshot of a much, much bigger change. And it leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. We've seen the direct impact on an energy company, obviously. But as Japan completely re engineers its economy around renewable energy, what other industries do you think are about to be totally transformed? We're talking everything from car manufacturing to real estate. The ripple effects are going to be huge.